Well, let's also talk about a sport that, 4 years ago, a team that everyone simply knew as the national team got a name, the Morans. And this was after they qualified for Afrocan 2019, and then they went on, to become one of the top 4 sides. DR Congo is a side that, went there, and we're talking about the Kenya Morans, and they're headed for Afrocan again, and they qualified automatically. You've got to look at performance from the historical perspective and consistency for someone to really know how this works. Because of being one of the top 4 sides, they qualified automatically, and also you've got the hosts, Angola, who are also there, also one of the top 4 sides, and so they've been drawn top of their pools. We're talking about the second tier of continental basketball. It's Afrocan, national teams involved, and because there is Afrobasket, which is now the big one. To speak in football terms, it's the AFCON of basketball. Afrocan is the CHAN of basketball. But here's the thing. If you're consistent enough, you'll always get your draws coming easy and compete at that competition. And in studio today, we've got somebody who's played for the national team. Anset Wafula, he's now part of the coaching staff. He's on my far left. Anset, karibu.
Santi.
Welcome. And we also have got Victor Bosire, who plays for the Kenya Morans.
Thank you.
All right. Bosire, I'll start with you because I'm sure you've seen this. The last 4 years, so something happened in Kenyan basketball. Historically, Kenya's men's basketball has the same traits as men's volleyball, always a tier below women's basketball. But what was that feeling within the fraternity when you qualified for Afrocan for the first time, and Kenya then continued and made it to Afrobasket in, 29 years?
I think the feeling was great. It was a long time coming, but key was for the first time, we also had our professional players now coming back to play for us. I think during Anset's time, they didn't really have the guys who were playing outside coming back and just helping the team. That was really key, and now we build momentum going towards Afrobasket. But performing well in Afrochan was a very big morale booster for all of us.
Ansets, you've been a player. You've seen, people you competed with, say at high school, go mainly either to the US or Australia, don't come back. From a coaching perspective, what is it that you saw with these players who came in, Tyler Ongwado's Bush, all who came in and played for the country and just had and they just gave a whole new buzz to this?
Yeah, what I can say there is, when you go out there, you get to learn from different people, and they are exposed at different levels. So when they come back to the country, what they did is they even, as players, they also became coaches in there, like trying to explain something, make it simple, into simple terms, and they're doing it practically. So even that actually motivated our players, other players, and that's why the difference has come up. That's why there's this rise in basketball now.
Looking at it from the coaching perspective also, is that at that point we saw Clifford Ward come in, and then we also saw a change of coaching and a whole new perspective of it. Let us specifically talk about video analysis that was brought in. What was that major effect? Because we don't film much in this country, we know that, but what was it for you?
Actually, the video effect has really made the game more technical. Like even people have become trying to be accurate on what calls they make, the umpires. The problem we have is, I think maybe I can say of the challenges that the maybe federation has. If we can get sponsors, we should also try using the video in our games. It will help us much.
Okay, and Liz Mills had an obsession with numbers, data. How many steps? how many travels you make? How many passes you complete? How many and how many assists you make? Little nitty-gritties. How have you seen that working with what you have available, coach?
Actually, that has also contributed positively, because now at least players have realized that you don't have to have 10 dribbles for you to pass the ball. You don't have to, now the ball is moving so fast, we're getting to where we want. We're utilizing, basketball, there's this time that is set for an opponent to attack the other team. So we're really utilizing it very well.
Okay. Now, Buzira, let me come to you. Video analysis. I know for those who have played college basketball in the US, or say somebody like Nyakundi who's been in France, or those who have been in Australia, video analysis is normal to them. When this thing was brought to you, what was the first thing that you pick out? Or rather shocked you? Like they say in Kenya, number 3 will shock you.
I think the biggest shock was, normally we analyze the game. Then as you analyze the game before you go to the next game, it is just hearsay. Now analyzing the game with the video is totally different. You're being told that you turn over the ball at this particular point and he's seeing it like practically. So I think that really brought an aspect of accountability even to the team. It started with Cliff O'Ward, and then I think Liz Mills took it to a whole different level in terms of video analysis, because she was straight to the point, especially when we went to AfroBasket. So putting in mind that after every game we'll have a video session, I think that made each and every player be very accountable for everything they do on the court.
Now, just explain that, because for the long time I've been around, in Kenyan sports, and even Ansett will tell you, accountability is something everybody keeps away from. Yes. Just give us some instances where you really had to say, this did not go right. And on this one, you were told, you keep repeating this.
Every coach has a system, both defensively and offensively. So sometimes maybe defensively, you are maybe the barrier of that system. So when video analysis is being done, you're being shown exactly where you're supposed to be and what you did wrong. So there's nothing you will say that you're supposed to be somewhere else and yet you're totally off position. So that particular, and during video analysis, it is paused. When there is a mistake, it is paused where something went wrong. So I think it is so precise that all you need to do is just be accountable and just make changes.
So how has that changed even the way you think as a team, and when you're playing your role offensively or when you're playing your role defensively?
I think the key thing is it's changed the mindset, and it starts during practice. So you train even differently. Before that, you used to train knowing that you just train to go play. Now you're training even for the nitty-gritties. So if, for example, the coach tells you at this particular point, this is where you're supposed to be on defense, you will train daily on that. So I think being precise even makes the game easy, and it makes even it makes the teamwork easier. Even your work on both defense and offense becomes easier.
Now, even just to add on that, it has even made players accept and pick on roles in the game. So that makes the game very easy for all of them. So everybody has a purpose in the team.
Okay, now Ansett, that's a very interesting, because there are 5 playing positions in basketball. You've got the small forward, the power forward, the center, the shooting guard, and the point guard.
Yes.
Just tell me how that has evolved, for example, even in the local scene.
Yeah, actually now even that one in the local scene has made those positions, they've just called them 1, 2. Nowadays we've changed to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yes.
Mostly we use the numbers. What has made them...
what to appeal box boy.
So what has made that is that now, like Victor here, Victor knows he can play 1, and he looks at the roles that he's supposed to do as a 1-man. He can't oversee his roles and go to take the 2-mans. Then the 5-man cannot pick up the ball and start dribbling the ball from this end to that end, because he knows that is Victor's role. Yeah. So the shooting guard, we have a shooting guard. He can't just pick the ball and also start dribbling or doing the layups all the time. He knows his role. I'm supposed to take the shot. It has really helped us.
And what has been the outcome? Let's start with the domestic league, because that's where it all starts.
With the domestic league, actually it has made the league very competitive, because now most players have embraced the change. They have taken the ownership of their teams. The big problem is we used to have before is we believed specific players on the teams. Yeah, we only have like 5, 6. They're the ones who will play.
So Opel owned COP, Kiki owned KPA, and you owned Lindsay.
Exactly. Okay, that's what was actually that is the real thing. It was like that. Yeah, if you go to Lindsay, Ansett will say something, and that is it. If you go to KPA, Kiki will say something, or Juke will say something, and that is it. Like now, everybody owns the team. We all have the same percentage of ownership in the team.
And looking at how this is developing, because at the moment, for players who've gone through the system, the other thing is to downstream it, from the top division to the second division, such that if a team is promoted and they come play some basketball, they realize something's different. How is it working downwards?
Okay, like myself, I use myself as an example because I've picked on some teams that even are playing the street leagues, and I even talk to some of the coaches, and I attend their sessions and try to explain to them that this is what is supposed to be done at this level so that they can know. So now by the players accepting, they've started coming up. Even now, if you look at our games in Division 1, at least you'll know the purpose. You'll even try and see the purpose of the certain play in the team. This guy is winning well, this guy is shooting well, this guy is rebounding well, they're out, they're structured. Now there's kind of structured.
So let me now just take a look at how, the whole setup comes in. There are some people who would be a natural call-up, and this is from the national coaching staff. So what's the criteria now that you are using to select players, such that we've got Victor here, he's been selected, he's basically a number 1, old school name, point guard, so that, we've got to move with the times eventually.
Yes,
but what's the criteria you're using?
Yeah.
First for with the players who are based in Kenya.
Okay, what I can say is we look at the general performance of the player in the league. And specifically, I cannot say Victor is the best player we have in the country, but the minutes that Victor is averaging in that team and the level of the team where he's playing. So we look at the stats. We look at his stats, the turnovers, the way he's passing the ball, his IQ, in the game. So those are the small things that we look at. These are the players that I'm saying there. Maybe there are good players out there who are better than Victor. But when you come to, we can't see them. So if you can't be played, we can't see you. You must be played, you must be given minutes for us to see you, to know what you can do. Yeah. So those are the criteria that we use at each and every position. Apart from that, also we have players who've been, you can't bring in new players and then we taking you out there to compete at that level. And you've never even played at the championship, our local championship semi-finals. It doesn't make sense, but we'll introduce you to have players who've been there before, so that at least as you're coming in, you learn. Yeah. And
now the other one is preparing the players for this level of competition. Angola for a very long time was the #1 country in African men's basketball, and that means that if you're going to play in Angola, you're actually going to play in a basketball mad country. How do you prepare them for this?
Yeah, now it comes back again to the same thing I've just told you. The players who are playing out, the players who are playing at that high level. So what I do is we try get friendlies, more teams from people from different, not just within our country, but outside, who've been out there, who've played out there. We make them come and try and play with the players so that they can see at least something, like a small percentage, to know what they are going to expect when they go out there. But also that we keep showing them the videos, the clips, the history of Angola, where we're going. We get the games that are being played in Angola. They see how the gyms, the game, the arena is filled, how people cheer their team. So they know this is a basketball country that you're going to, and we have to give our best credit for this.
Have you ever gone to a place and said, "Hey, na hii gym nayo," and your capacity? Answer can tell you when you go at the facilities actually shock you, and they take away your mojo.
Yes. That's true.
True. It happens.
Very
it
true.
happens.
Unazuba.
Yes, very true. Yes.
So you're actually shocked at the facility, but such that came true is when you're waking up.
Yes.
But looking at what coach has said about how everything has changed in this, what about for you players? How has it changed, for example, to simple things like how you do your fitness training, even for a start, just to keep fit as an athlete?
I think even before you get to fitness, even physio, I think that is one of the things that was overlooked for a very long time. And now recovery was very difficult for players. So normally you get players coming for practice tired, but it's just how they're recovering. So even those simple things. So you have, even for us players, we need to be 100% every time we go for practice. Again, so that consistency is what really has changed for the basketball fraternity as a whole.
Just tell us about that physio part. What was the gap? What was the real gap?
There wasn't even physios in basketball. The recovery was I think there was just a hearsay.
Basire was never there. I was there. So, actually, the thing physio, like me, I've seen it when I'm in Ulinzi. Now, like, they've brought a physio for us. We used to use our own doctor to come even to help out. Yeah, sometimes when you're in the team by that time. Yeah, so there was...
And that means they go get the physio for Lindsay stars.
Yes, yeah, to come and assist. Yeah. But that is also not like organized. It's like me and you, we're friends and you're not feeling okay. So I'm like, come on, man, you guys see my man out here, he can sort you out. That's it. But now is when he's saying they have a physio in the camp, so they don't have a reason not to make the trophy home.
So anyway, Bosire, back to training. How has this changed? Because given the little things that you're saying, that you've got to adjust to the mistakes, you have now got to be a team player and understand your roles, that means you must be conditioned properly for that role. How's this going about? How has it changed even the way you train? So,
I think they say stats don't lie. So basically, as Coach Wafa said, when you get picked to the team, your roles are very clear. So by the time you come into the team, for example, if you are a shooter, you know during practice, this is the level of percentage I need to, like, I need to get into as a shooter. As a point guard, I know the level of performance I need to get in to reduce my turnovers. It is very specific of each and every role. So when you come to practice, or every day you go to practice, you have specifics that you need to work on. So I think I will say it's just a level of professionalism has really improved.
Now, there is somebody who's watching out there who wants to take your position in the national team. At the moment, they want to. So at the moment, you've got it. For example, for the #1 position, that point guard, what are the things, the basics that everyone must have?
Ball handling, IQ of basketball, because literally you're the second coach on the floor, because you're the one who takes all the instructions from the coach. IQ, ball handling, you need to shoot now in this era. Even the one man needs to really shoot the ball, and just most importantly, minimize assist turnover ratio. So your assist must be more than your turnovers. So that is very key for any point guard out there.
Well, in terms of fitness,
just to add on that, ball handling is not only for one right-handed hand. You must handle the same way you can handle the ball with your left hand, the same way you handle with your right hand. Yeah.
Which is why I see that all the time.
50, yes, all the time.
You're given 2 balls to dribble.
You're given 2 balls to dribble.
Such that, and then at one point, one is taken.
One is taken.
So if I've got a left hand.
No, my friend, that one.
You'll get comfortable after some time.
Yes.
So you've gotten that. And when it comes to fitness, I know he grew up in the era of you make a mistake, 10 suicides.
They know they're doing it now.
So basically, just take us through what everyone must do. First, become an athlete first is the rule.
Yeah.
But for a basketballer, what must you do to be fit to play at this high level? I
think being fit is easy, but being consistently fit is the most difficult part. Because you'll find most people, you find guys who you even finish the league without guys being fit. Once you get fit, it also takes personal work. I go to Ngong Hills. When you go there, I'll find like nearly all the national team players there, just trying to look for their fitness during the season. Waf will tell you, when you come to the national team, their business is just looking for your fitness. Them is just giving you strategy for the game. So these are things that I think you personally have to really want it. Fitness, no one will ever give you. But as I've said, fitness is so easy to get, but how consistent will you be in terms of your fitness?
All right. Thank you very much. Gap, just a quick one. Which of these sides is a headache for you as you go to Angola? Let me just mention the teams you'll be playing. Gabon and Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Which one? Which is a tough one?
I would say Ivory Coast.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote d'Ivoire.
All right. We'll be looking at that, and that's a group where Kenya will be. Thank you very much, Coach Anset Wafula, Captain Victor Busire, Morand, headed to Luanda. My name is Daniel Wahompe. Thank you for being with us for the past 2 hours on Sports Check as we held conversations about boxing, golf, cricket, and basketball. So we called it a wrap. Our sign language interpreter this hour has been Lensa Odingo. On behalf of those who put this together, thank you very much to you all, and most importantly, you, the viewer, thank you for being with us. We take a short break. Nancy Okware is back with Kurunzi Mashinani and Tamrini.